All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon and The Blackest Heart, both books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. And before I get to anything, I just noticed I think I might have to retire the Sade shirt. There's a hole in it right there. You know, I only notice these things as I see myself on video. I notice a lot of stuff wrong with me when I'm on video. I swear the camera adds 60 pounds. We're reviewing The House by Bentley Little. The horror novel came out in 1999. You know I love graphic design and cover illustration, so let's go over the aesthetics of the outside of this book first. Shall we judge a book by its cover? Because I like this cover a lot. It's got the blurb by Stephen King. A master of the macabre, Stephen King says. We've got this great, I like the typeface. I like the font they used. It's borderline, sort of reminiscent of those old 80s horror novels. Same with the Bentley Little. And then we've got this great looking actual painted illustration. The artist is not listed in the book, so I don't know who the artist is that did this, but it's an actual painting of a creepy old house with a creepy fence and a creepy sky. And, it just looks good. I mean, I like the backside of it with the fence over here. Very, very elegantly designed horror novel. I give it a thumbs up. Let's get to the story. It's about 5 strangers that are being drawn back to their childhoods through memories and dreams. They're being drawn back to their childhoods to this house that they all used to kind of sort of live in. It's a little ethereal and supernatural in the way it's described. It's like, was it the same house or was it different houses that had similar themes going on? Anyway, this reminded me much of actually, the plot is exactly the same as, at least from what I could tell, Dean Koontz's Strangers, where, they were strangers, a handful of people from different backgrounds. They were victims, they were chosen, and they all go back to the same hotel that's haunted. That's Strangers. You could basically say the same thing about The House. 5 strangers are about to discover that they share a dark bond. I should read this without my glasses on. Okay, 5 strangers are about to discover that they share a dark bond, a haunted childhood, a shocking secret, a memory of the houses they lived in, each one eerily identical to the next. That's what I was getting at. It was like I wasn't sure if it was the same house or like a parallel universe house. This is a very trippy book. Because between heaven and hell stands only one thing: the house. Dun dun dun. From the remote foothills of the west to the green lawns of the sunny suburbia, they are returning to the past, to the unspeakable events that they long to forget, to the house. And their journeys are about to converge in one terrifying challenge: to confront the nightmares or be trapped inside them forever. So, who do we have? We have Daniel from Philadelphia. He's traveling to the house. Lori from San Francisco. She's got her bad boyfriend that she's tech. She's big into the tech industry, and she's got a bad boyfriend that she's escaping. So she's got dreams of the house. We've got Norton in Iowa. He's a high school teacher, a very, very, very dedicated high school teacher until his wife dies, and then he is drawn through his dreams and haunting visions to the house. And then we've got Stormy, who's an actor and a filmmaker in Santa Fe, New Mexico. He's sort of on his way from Santa Fe to Los Angeles, and he's starting to rethink his childhood and the evil house and other bad things that happened in it. And then we've got Mark, who is also on a remote southwestern highway driving to a funeral. His sister has died, And so now he's recalling evil things that happened in his childhood and the house that he grew up in. So now we've got these 5 characters all haunted in their own minds and by ghosts around them, telling them about the house, the house, the house, the house, the house. And of course, it all ends up them converging into a supernatural, like, horror show. And that's basically the plot. I'm not going to give away any more of it than that. That's pretty much what the plot of Strangers was, by Dean Koontz. Now, I have read a handful of Bentley Little books, and I will tell you right from the get-go, this is probably my least favorite of the ones I've read. Even though I enjoyed reading this, I found it delightful in spots. I just wasn't as engaged in it as some of the other Bentley Little books that I've read. And like I said, it's only a handful. But I can, even those handful, I can still recall vivid scenes from each of those. And then 10 years from now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to recall anything from this, although I did like it. So I am going to give The House by Bentley Little, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10 because I enjoyed it and I read it from cover to cover and pretty quickly, and nothing wrong with it, just wasn't as memorable as the other ones I read. So now the question is, I think you guys know what the question is. Does Durfee go out and buy the entire Bentley Little collection? And I looked into it. It's about 20 books, all of them horror, all of them standalone. Do I do it? Because I want to reread some of that. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. If in a book haul in the near future, we see a shit ton of these. Stay tuned.